Hi everyone, and welcome to project 3 of the PowerPoint video course. So in this one we're going to try to push PowerPoint to the limit, and we will mainly use morph transitions and 3D shapes, something that we didn't use in the previous projects. So since we did the second project about Elon Musk, well, let's do this one about astronomy. So the things that you're going to learn here is basically how far you can go with PowerPoint. And even if you don't plan on using 3D shapes anytime soon in your presentations, well, it doesn't matter. The transitions that we will play with, the morph transition, you can actually apply them with all kinds of PowerPoint objects, and you can get very creative with it. So let's start, and let me show you what you can do with it. So first, let's find an absolutely huge picture of space, of stars. So let's go on Google, and the thing here is that you need a really huge picture, an absolutely huge picture, which means, for example, something like this. You see the number of pixels here? Well, it has to be much bigger than your screen. So your computer screen is probably something like 1920 by 1080, and so this one is like 2 or 3 times bigger than this. So this one is good. This one, not enough. And yeah, this one, for example, can definitely work. So pick one which is really big, okay? And then we will continue. So go back to PowerPoint. So I already have mine. I will insert it. So I chose this one. As you can see, when you open PowerPoint, it automatically resizes the picture to fit in your slide. But what we need is to actually make it much bigger. So let's resize it while keeping the proportions, okay? As you can see, since I picked a really big picture, even if I resize it, I zoom out, it still stays very sharp. That's why we need a picture with a really big resolution, because we're kind of going to zoom at it, right? So that's our PowerPoint slide behind, and so this is the picture. So as you can see, it can get much bigger without losing quality, okay? So for now, keep it normal size just to fill in the slide, okay? Like this. It really doesn't matter where it is, as long as you're filling the whole slide with it. And now let's just make it slightly darker because it's too bright. So you go here and picture corrections and brightness. You just decrease it a little bit. Yeah, minus 30% or 23%, for example. Something like this is good. I mean, it also depends on the picture that you chose. If it's already not that bright, then it's fine. So now let's insert our first 3D shape. You go here, insert 3D models, and then choose from online sources. So I will explain you later, but basically when you click here, you have a source that Microsoft is partnered with, which is this one, and they already propose you to download many 3D shapes directly within PowerPoint. But as you can see, there's just one source for now. I'm pretty sure that Microsoft will add many more sources over the time. And you can also download your own 3D models from different websites, but I will talk about it later. For now, just type a keyword here and type Earth. Let's find a 3D model of the Earth. Right, this one. So you click on it, insert. All right, so here we have our 3D model. And when you click here and you drag the mouse, as you can see, you can position this model as you want, because this is a real 3D model. It's not an illusion of a 3D model. So unfortunately, PowerPoint doesn't yet allow to animate these 3D objects individually. So I cannot create an animation, for example, that will make this Earth rotate on this slide. I can only make it appear and basically use all the traditional PowerPoint animations. However, I can animate the 3D shape itself using the morph transition. So for now, morph transition is the only solution to that. But here again, I also think that with some time, Microsoft will introduce a way to animate these 3D objects as well. So let me show you how it's done. So let's say that I want the Earth to come to that position here, make it bigger, and let's put it here. Let's see what it does. Okay, Earth is here, that's fine. Now let's duplicate this slide. Okay, now we have two slides, and on this slide, first of all, let's turn the Earth like this. Okay, and now let's apply to this slide the transition morph. Okay, as you can see, it rotates the 3D object, which is really amazing. And you can do many things like this. But there are many problems, of course. For example, you cannot decide in which direction this object is rotating. You can only do a morph transition, and then it will decide automatically what is sort of the shortest path from one point to another. So I cannot tell this object rotate that direction. It will do it automatically. So you have to adapt and you have to play with it. But now let's do some more fancy things. So first of all, let's make an impression as if we were flying towards this Earth, or if the Earth was coming towards us. So once you position it, let's make this object much smaller. Okay, much smaller. And let's position it outside of the slide here at the angle. Because yes, when we will be using the morph transition, we will actually be working a lot outside of the slide. And now on this second slide, let's use this picture here, which by the way is not a background. If you set it as a background, it will not work. So since we have this picture and it's really big, we can increase the size of it. So let's make it bigger like this. Okay. Last thing that we should do is go on transition here, and here you see duration. When I showed you the rotation, it was really too fast. Obviously, it's because the transition is 2 seconds. So it's really fast. So let's put it at 5 seconds, for example. And now let's see what happens. All right. We have our amazing Earth animation. So as you can see, I did two things here. So we have this 3D object which rotates and becomes bigger. So I placed it outside of the first slide. And then I have this background which is really big, so I can do whatever I want with it. I can zoom in, zoom out, and by zooming in, it creates this movement impression. So basically the morph transition is doing all the job. All right, this is really cool.